my name's Shell. Welcome to my channel where I'm losing weight using the Slimming World plan. I hope everybody's well and not being rained on too much. It's been pouring down here for days and it doesn't look like letting up. But it is nice to have it a little bit cooler. I must admit I don't do well in the hot weather. This week I was going to start by reading out some of the new low-syn and healthy extra choices from the Slimming World app, but to be honest there were so many good ones this month, it's a real bumper crop, that there was just too many to read out. So I thought I'd just remind everybody where to go and get them from, because they do have them in the magazine. I don't know whether it's the same list, but I know they do have a list of these in the magazine. But if you don't get the magazine, you can look it up online. I don't know whether it's on the app or whether it's just on the online Slimming World page. But if you go to the front page of Slimming World, not the food search, but if you go to the search on the main page, and if you put in healthy extras, it'll come up with a list of recently added, all the things that they've recently put on the app that's to do with healthy extras. For some reason it always puts something about Christmas puddings and things at the top. That always seems to be there. But if you get past those, underneath it'll give you this month's new healthy extra changes and low-syn foods. It usually says something like, it'll say July free food and healthy extra choices. You'll see it's quite obvious. And if you click on that and go into it, it first tells you about any new healthy extra choices. There wasn't really much in that this month. Or it tells you what's not a healthy choice anymore. So if you skip past those and get down onto the low-syn foods for this month, there are so many lovely looking things. Because there's too many new things. When you go into a shop, you can't pick up everything to check the syn values, and you can't always tell just by looking at something if it's going to be low-syn or not. I mean, they have things on there this month like I think they had Warburton's mini chocolate pancakes, which are only 2 syns each. Now, perhaps they are very mini, I don't know. But if you saw those in a shop, you might not even look at them. And they had lots of different salads as well, which interested me. And often I don't look at salads because usually they've got so much mayonnaise and all that kind of oils and things in that they're not even worth bothering with. So to save rooting through to find the low-syn items, there is a list there that you can look at, and there were some great, really good things in it this month. A lot of things that I'm going to be checking out. There were some new things from the L.O.S.E.R.S range, which I'm very fond of. There was some new seasonings and things from Aldi, but there's so many things. I really urge you to go and have a look, because it just gives you a few more ideas, and to save browsing through the shop, or if you do online shopping like I do, it's really easy to look at those and then just go and find those foods. So have a look at that, it's really interesting. They put a new one up every month, and unfortunately all the previous ones disappear. I suppose they become irrelevant after a while when those items aren't available, but the new one is there now for July. I think the July one's still there, but anyway, the August one will be there soon, so have a look if you can quick at the July one, and then maybe check it out each month like I do. Whilst I was looking there, underneath I saw a thing about optimising the plan on a plant food, a plant-based diet as well, and that was very interesting. And it had some things about cheese on there, and I know people often ask about plant-based cheese, what you can have. So this was on their page officially. It said for a healthy extra A, you can have 3 15-gram slices of Via Life mild cheddar flavoured slices. And I like the Via Life. I didn't know that one of those was a healthy extra A. Well, one of those, one of the 3 slices for a healthy extra A. I often put one of those in when I make the crimpets. I often put a Via Life slice in there, but I didn't know you could have 3 of them. I thought it was just 2. You can have 40 grams of Follow Your Heart, dairy-free, mozzarella, finely shredded. So that's finely shredded mozzarella. I didn't know you could have that either. So that's another choice. I haven't tried that yet, Follow Your Heart. It's not a range that I know much about. Worth looking into. And of course I think everybody knows you can have 2 of the Baby Bell plant-based alternative to cheese, and that's another one that I have. I don't eat cheese very often, only once every few weeks possibly, but I do like those Baby Bells, they're nice. The Laughing Cow Triangles plant-based aren't any longer a Healthy Extra A. They used to be, but they're not now. And then underneath it says, if you can't find any of the above items, 30 grams of calcium fortified dairy-free cheese to count as one of your 2 Healthy Extra A choices, and eat more free food with the C symbol to support your calcium requirements on these days. So if you can find any cheeses where it says it's been fortified with calcium at all, then you can have 30 grams of that. And I must admit that I tend to just have 30 grams of cheese on those days, and even if it's not fortified, because I find that I do tend to eat a lot of vegetables that contain calcium anyway, or your green vegetables. So they used to say you could have any 30 grams of plant-based cheese, but that must have changed now to just if it's fortified with calcium. So I thought that was quite interesting, because people often ask, well, which cheeses can you have on Slimming World? So they are the ones that they recommend, and they're different from the ones they used to recommend a couple of years ago. These are better choices, I think. The ones they used to recommend was the cocoa cheese, which I thought was horrible, really awful, and the L.O.S.E.R.S cheese, which was lovely, but I don't see that very often now. I don't know whether you can still get that, but that was a nice one. So the choices have changed. If you've been doing Slimming World for a while, it has changed, but they are good choices. We had a really good group this week. Last week we had the new changes, which I wasn't keen on at all, and I did talk to my consultant about it. This week when we went in, the weigh lady had forgotten to write down all the weight losses on the piece of paper for my consultant to read out. So what we did this week was we just went back to the normal old style way of doing the group, and I did notice a few people were really happy about that, not just me. So we're going back to the new format next week, which hopefully will be better than we had last week. So I'll let you know how we get on with that. And this week I lost £1. So that takes my weight loss now at Slimming World to 2 stone 5.5 pounds. So I'm only 1.5 pounds now away from my 2.5 stone award, which I don't think I'll get next week. It's a bit of a push, £1.5 pounds for me. You never know, it might come, but I just stick to plan and see what happens. Sometimes it could be a little gain, and sometimes it could be a big loss. Mind you, a big loss for me is £2 or something in between. So I'll just stick to plan and see what happens. This month coming up, August, which starts tomorrow, it's Thursday today, so it's the 1st of August tomorrow. A lot of my friends are doing something called Haugust, which is short for Healthy August. Now they've been planning to start this tomorrow for weeks now, and I've just sort of avoided it. Didn't really feel like doing it, but now it's coming up tomorrow. I don't know whether to have a try or not. I'm not sure. I think my diet, when I talk about diet, I'm talking about the foods that I eat, not a weight loss plan. I think that my diet is quite healthy. It's certainly healthier than it used to be before I started Slimming World. I was thinking, because one of the things that they're giving up is processed, they're all plant-based, so they're giving up processed things like burgers and bacon and ham and cheese, all that kind of stuff. And I used to eat a lot of burger type things, but I don't, since starting Slimming World, I've not had as many at all. I think I tend to have, I like the Beyond Burger, and I tend to have one of those a week, and that's it now, whereas before, I think I would probably have burgers one day, sausages another day, and maybe schnitzels on another day, so it would always involve some kind of processed meat substitute. But I don't really do that now, so I probably wouldn't miss that. There's only be one burger a week, so I'm not going to miss that. Where I'd fall down on though is the getting rid of the artificial sweeteners and things like chocolate and alcohol, because I do have artificial sweeteners every day. I have hot chocolate every day, and I really look forward to that, so that will be out. And I also, of an evening, whatever Andy and I do during the day or in the evening with our friends, we always get together before bed to watch something that we like. Sometimes that could be for half an hour, or if we're not doing anything, a couple of hours. And at that time, I really like to have a treat. I always have a treat in the evening. It usually involves either Jack Daniels or some kind of chocolate thing. And it might just be a shot of Jack Daniels and 2 squares of chocolate. My chocolate that I have is 1 syn a square, and the Jack Daniels is either, well, 2 or 3 syns depending on the size of glass that I'm going to have. So that's what I tend to have in an evening, and I look forward to it, and I've been doing that since I started back at Slimming World this time. Or sometimes if I've got enough syns, I'll forget the Jack Daniels and the chocolate, and I'll just have a cornetto for 9.5 syns, and they're mostly the treats that I have. I'm fairly consistent. And I don't know what to have instead of those. Now I know there are people here that watch my channel and I watch their channels, and they do a much more whole food based Slimming World plan than I do. I'm thinking of Jane, Annie, Lisa and Rufus. I know they're all very focused on the more healthy eating side. But I'm not sure what I would have for a snack. A fruit doesn't really do it for me, not before bed. Maybe a tangerine I'll go for, but I don't really want fruit at that time of night, and I can't think what I would have for a snack. So I'm not convinced yet as to whether I'm going to do this healthy oats. If I do, I don't think I'll be going all in as my friends are doing. But perhaps I'll just try and maybe have a healthier August. Try and cut a few things out. I could cut the Jack Daniels out, I wouldn't miss that. And I suppose I could cut the chocolate out. But I'm going to have to find something else to eat. Perhaps I could have some nuts instead. Maybe that would help. I'm not sure. So if anybody else has a healthy snack of an evening that's more on the whole foods line, then let me know what you go for, because I could really do with some help that isn't just my bit of rubbish in the evening. I think I could pretty much get away. Well, my breakfasts are fairly healthy anyway, and my dinners, well, I say I usually have in my crimpet. I often have a crimpet at dinner time, and I'll have the crimpet with a side salad, and in the crimpet I've got a slice or a baby bell chopped up and a piece of corn ham. I like those inside the crimpet, so I could swap those out easily and just mash some chickpeas up and put them in instead. There are ways of getting around dinner. I don't think tea will be a problem, because I often have large stir fries and rice, and maybe a tomato based thing with pasta, or I eat a lot of salad. I like salad with a tub of mushy peas stirred in. That's lovely. I know it doesn't sound very nice, but it is lovely. And I do eat a lot of the vegetarian butcher chicken bits. I really like those. I think I probably have those maybe every other day. So I could swap those out for beans or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna think about having a go. I'm going to start in the morning, and if I get to Saturday morning and I'm still on it, then I'll be amazed. But I'm going to try, and it doesn't matter anyway, because I thought, well, if I'm not enjoying it and I don't like it, I can just give in and go back to what I'm doing now. But anyway, so that's going to be me for August. I'm going to try Haugust at least till the last weekend, because I've got a big day out, or possibly a day and a night out coming up on the last weekend of August. So I'll let you know how I get on. I'll be amazed if I come back on this video next week and I'm still doing it. I will be. I can't see it somehow. But there you go. Anybody got any tips for making the food healthier? Let me know what you do, what you swap out, and we'll see how I get on. Let me know how you get on below. We had a great time last night at Lisa and Rufus's Losers Club. The link to that will be in my description below. It's a great event to go to. Everybody joins in, and it really is a club. You're not really watching a live event. It's definitely a members club where everyone joins in, and now there's a Facebook page as well, which I've just joined. I don't know whether I'll be able to manage that because I can't do Facebook very well, but we'll see. So have a lovely week, everybody. I shall see you next week, and hope that you see less of me. Take care. Bye.